Hi guys, John the Firearms Instructor, and welcome back to our Firearms training series. And this is episode 1, and we're going to be covering some few definitions and a few things I'll be talking about in class. I want to make sure you get a full understanding of what I'm talking about. So let's start out with a Glock 19. We're going to go through the definition of the product itself and how it operates, okay? So right off the bat, let's pick the weapon up, let's clear it, make sure it's empty. There's a magazine. The magazine itself holds the bullets, and then we're going to rack the slide. So I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to kind of show you on this side of the gun. There are a few things on this side of the gun that's not on the other side of the gun, and I want to make sure you understand it. So we start right off the bat. The Glock 19 is the standard, but it doesn't mean it has to be a Glock 19 to take the class with. You could take it with any weapon. But right off the bat, if you look, this top piece right here is called the slide, and that slide goes back and forth when you engage the trigger. The extra spring system in it makes it go back and forth. This is a slide. This little button here is called slide lock. This actually takes the gun and puts it in a slide lock position. Slide lock happens two ways. One, you make it do it, and two, when the gun is empty, it gets into slide lock because the empty magazine holds it back. Number 3, there is the trigger guard, which is right here. And there is the bang button, or the trigger itself. And if you could see really close in there, there is a safety. People always say Glocks don't have safeties, but there is a trigger safety right here that has to be engaged before the weapon will fire. Now this is a FS, Glock 19 FS, and it has a lot of the dual stuff on the other side. On this side of the weapon, there is the magazine drop right here. In the gun world, is normally a right-handed world, so a lot of times the magazine drop is on the left side of the gun. So for right-handed students, it's pretty easy, but for a left-handed student, we have to work on teaching you how to drop your magazine with your second finger there. But that's the terminologies I want to make sure. So I want to understand how the weapon works. You take a magazine, you put rounds in it. Now we've done a video on loading a magazine before, and we'll put that up here somewhere. But the magazine itself is probably the hardest thing to teach you, because there is a base plate and a follower and a spring. And every time you put a round in here, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. So let's assume we put 5 rounds in this magazine. We're going to pick the Glock up, stick the magazine in, and then we're going to pull back the slide, which is called racking, and we're going to close the gun. At that point in time, that weapon would be loaded. It would be cocked. And at that, when you engage the trigger, the slide would come back, eject the original casing, and strip another one off the magazine so fast you couldn't even tell. And would do that over and over and over again until how many rounds you put in it. Let's say you put 10 rounds in it, it would do that 10 times, and then on the 11th, it would stay open. And that's that second way it goes to slide lock. You see that right there? That gun's at slide lock, and it will not go forward because the empty magazine is making it stay in, okay? If I drop this magazine, cool thing about a semi-automatic pistol, you can see daylight all the way through it. So that's the cool thing here. And then if I pull it back now, it surely will close. And that is the definitions of a semi-automatic pistol. It doesn't matter which manufacturer it is. Some have manual safeties, some don't have manual safeties. Most of them have triggers. That's up to you what you want as far as the weapon, but I'm just kind of giving you the overview. One last thing we didn't talk about is this. This is the sights. And these are more important than anything else. We've got to use these to engage the bad guy. And sights are on there. This is a box and dot system. They make 3-dot systems. They make blacked out back sights and a front sight. They make day glow, glow in the dark, tritium. There's a lot of different sights you can pick up on a weapon. That is your personal preference more than anything else. So I truly recommend that you spend some time in a gun store and find the weapon that's going to best for you. But that's our definition of stuff at this point in time. Now we're going to get back to the next video, and the next video is going to cover the starting of the training classes. All right? Stay tuned.